Good evening, everyone. We're mining the race together. Today, you'll get some amazing information from the Formula 11 platform. You'll learn how to build capital through mining in 2026 through 2030. Today, you can make a strategic decision in your life about accumulating resources. We'll break down how to make the entire artificial intelligence industry work for you. This is a very fast growing market, and today we're going to talk about it. Today, artificial intelligence is an integral part of our lives, and the changes happening to us are coming at such a speed that it used to be hard to imagine. Now, it's hard to keep up with all the changes happening every day. Well, the good news is that most people still aren't aware of this. If you've already attended our presentations, please put the number 1 in the Q&A section. If you haven't attended yet, put the number 0. That way, I'll know who I'm talking to. Today's presentation, and I'll be able to focus on making things clearer for you. While you're sorting out the questions, we'll keep moving forward. Today we Today we'll talk about the prospects for the reliability of this market, an emerging trillion-dollar market, and I'm not afraid to use that word. We'll focus on the choices professionals are making, and let's see just how much of a trillion-dollar market this really is. NVIDIA, the manufacturer of graphics card chips, is the top company in the world. It's the largest manufacturer in the world, the first company ever to surpass $1 trillion in market capitalization. Today, this single company alone is worth more than the entire cryptocurrency market. What does that tell us? It tells us that the artificial intelligence market is developing at a speed we've never seen before throughout all periods of economic growth and cycles. And artificial intelligence is only thanks to just one company. It has already surpassed the most incredible, fastest growing market that gave people the chance to become millionaires. Thousands, hundreds, even dozens of people became millionaires in the cryptocurrency market. Of course, many lost money, but we all know stories of people who got really rich thanks to cryptocurrencies. So, the artificial intelligence market and this trend offer even more opportunities for even more people because this is the biggest and fastest growing market in the world. Throughout human history, this market has been dominated, of course, by corporations. The giants who were the first to jump into this race, like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Elon Musk's Meta companies, are now fighting to expand. They're even planning to move data centers into space to train artificial intelligence even more efficiently and to supply energy to these data centers even more effectively. And their construction isn't stopping. And this is the main problem with artificial intelligence. It's in the hands of the 5 corporations you see here. They're all American. And our economy is moving in that direction when already soon it might happen that it's not countries that control the world, people and territories, but corporations. Everything is heading in that direction, and it's all thanks to artificial intelligence. GONKA is a platform that brings together owners of powerful computers from all over the world into a single network to create and launch artificial intelligence that is free from influence from these and other corporations. In other words, artificial intelligence that won't be subject to censorship. After all, the owners of these corporations can configure their artificial intelligence however they want. Let's take ChatGPT, for example. ChatGPT has over 1 billion users. The owner of ChatGPT can program it so that ChatGPT answers questions for that billion users in a certain way. For example, when someone asks a question about the origins of humanity or about certain historical events, ChatGPT can provide them with a specific version. And in this way, history itself could soon be rewritten simply by supplying humanity with certain information. So these are censored artificial intelligences, and they have a huge influence on people. Seeing and understanding this, the protocol, race, and the creators of this protocol are working to solve these problems. In other words, They're creating an artificial intelligence that's uncensored, free, pure, and processes information as it is, without distortion. Secondly, this artificial intelligence and the services built with it can be, and already are, hundreds of times cheaper than corporate solutions. The network that's being created from powerful computers connected into a single unified network is similar to the Bitcoin network. But in the Bitcoin network, a huge amount of electricity is burned, and a huge number of very simple calculations are performed. In other words, a hash is solved, decrypted, and Bitcoin is mined. So these are essentially useless actions. That is, smart machines are calculating the Bitcoin hash. But in the case of the race, all these smart machines, which are united into one big global network, into a single data center, have 100% efficiency. That means all this power can be used 100% by artificial intelligence for training and processing information. And this training, this information processing, is exactly what's called inference. When artificial intelligence accesses the data center, that's called an inference request. And the cost of these requests in the GONKA network today is hundreds of times cheaper than the cost of requests in all alternative corporate artificial intelligences. The network is scaling up very quickly. If we go to the website, like GONKA's, and look at how fast the network has grown, how quickly it can grow, today the network has reached about 2,000 powerful GPUs online. These are NVIDIA chips equivalent to the H100, and the value of this network is over $100 million. As of today, that is, the network hasn't even been around for a year yet. It recently hit 300 days. That's how long the GONKA network has existed. That's already an achievement. So soon it'll be a year. In just a year, this network has existed and grown into such a large-scale network with a value of $100 million. That's a huge leap forward, a major accomplishment, a huge success. The network is scaling up very quickly. And for us, this is a very interesting opportunity to join this market, this trillion-dollar market, and build your own capital here. Who's behind the project? The creators of the GONKA protocol are David and Daniel Lieberman. Their combined experience is valued at over $400 million. They're serial entrepreneurs. They sold their last business for $60 million. They're sharing that business, and they're creating the protocol. GONKA comes from a position of abundance. They have a very powerful visionary. Let's put it this way, a mission, yes. When the brothers see the existing problems with intelligence, its centralization, its monopoly, meaning that basically five people control it. There's also its censorship and its potential to be used for various purposes. When a future is being created in which a person might feel uncomfortable. So, noticing these problems, the brothers decided to create an alternative artificial intelligence, free, uncensored, decentralized. Without a doubt, this idea caught on because the idea of freedom is the most valuable thing a person has. Remember all the great upheavals, revolutions, the overthrow of existing powers. They were driven by a true, sincere desire of people to be free. In other words, this is the greatest driving force, the biggest need a person has, to be free. So, the idea of creating a free artificial intelligence has already received the support of thousands of entrepreneurs, thousands of micro investors, people all over the world who this idea has been picked up one way or another. Everyone is involved in it, developing it in their own way. And we too are developing this idea. And of course, we take advantage of the benefits we have. The token race is more than just cryptocurrency. It's the fuel for artificial intelligence. If you compare it to Bitcoin, when I make that comparison, a lot of people tell me, no, that's impossible. You can't compare Bitcoin to anything. How do you even compare Bitcoin? Yes, Bitcoin is digital gold. It's actually the world's first cryptocurrency, the pioneer. And it really does account for 50% of the total market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies. So basically, everyone who believes in cryptocurrency in one way or another, half of all that money is in Bitcoin. That's why it holds its place, its dominant position. But there's also room for other cryptocurrencies in this market. And there are a ton of cryptocurrencies. Some represent real technology, some are just junk, some are scam coins, and some have potential. And so the race token has a lot of potential because it's a race. The protocol has set itself the ambitious goal of capturing a share of the $1 trillion artificial intelligence market. Accordingly, this token's market cap could also exceed trillions of dollars, and that is precisely what creates a unique and profitable opportunity for us to generate a significant amount of money. It's important for the technology to succeed. It's important that the mission and the value the Lieberman brothers are sharing resonate with people. With thousands of people around the world, and for this technology to keep developing, then everything will work out. Unlike thousands of worthless junk coins, GNK's value is backed by real computing power. And the token GONKA is an asset that doesn't just sit there like a meme coin or a meme token. It's in your wallet, but it actually works for you. The fastest growing market in human history is artificial intelligence, and Formula X-Ray is the platform I represent as a force. Zadr. That means an operator of high-performance infrastructure, specializing in deploying and managing nodes in the GONKA network. In other words, the GONKA network is made up of thousands of computers, thousands of them, or rather, different types of NVIDIA and various others that make it possible to process artificial intelligence requests, connect different AI service creators and developers through APIs, use this inference, and thus this kind of infrastructure is created. Accordingly, everyone who connects their equipment becomes part of the process, joins the mining process, and becomes miners. Yes, and this is done at a professional level, meaning we deploy this equipment professionally and allow all our clients and users to participate in this process without needing to understand the complexities and settings of mining. Among our clients, there are a lot of small retail customers who join the mining race with investments of $100 to $1,000. There are also more than five major clients who have invested over $100,000. They participate in the mining race, and there is one corporate client, a fund, that chose to join the mining race through our platform with an investment of $200,000. So there is a choice among large clients. We realize that we have more large clients, meaning the total capital coming from them is greater than from small retail clients. So it's the big players, meaning they're the ones making the decisions. Thank you. They choose to join the mining race with professionals. In other words, with us, we have an excellent technical team. We solve key problems for the market, such as the high entry barrier to mining, the complexity of setting up equipment, and the instability of private solutions. In other words, private solutions usually have glitches, don't always work properly, and often fail to get the most out of what's possible. Most clients and investors just want to make money from mining, but they're not willing to deal with the infrastructure. That's exactly why, for clients like you, we offer a simple solution for mining the race token. So, what exactly does the Formula X platform and its full infrastructure cycle do? We professionally manage the capacities 24/7, working nonstop. The economy is transparent. You can track every node, and you can use the blockchain to see the tokens you receive. In other words, where did they come from? It's clear that they were received specifically from our nodes, which we've already activated. About a dozen. In other words, as of today, there are 10 nodes. Over the past 4 months, we've activated them, and all of their wallets are known. Our community can check this out. And there's an accessible entry point for miners starting from $25 with no upper limit. It's unlimited. The maximum, if you're a large corporate client, the most we're ready to accept from you in the first month is $1 million. After that, we're prepared to increase capacity. Up to $5 million if you're considering corporate mining for yourself. To instantly activate a very large amount of capacity, there simply isn't that much free equipment available on the market. And sometimes you have to wait a month or two to sign and finalize a long-term, high-quality mining contract with serious, powerful data centers. So within these kinds of limits, we make mining simple, clear, and convenient for you. How does mining work? A pool is created for every $10,000. In other words, any client resources or funds are combined in increments of $10,000. So if you have $25, it gets combined with another $25, $500, $1,000 until it reaches $10,000. A queue is formed from these pools and they are sent off to a node, which can include as many as 40 or even 50 individual GPUs, these are NVIDIA cards, or even upwards of 200 or even 300 of them. And then all of this is launched into the infrastructure. For example, a contract for, say, 40B, 300 GPUs can cost around $450,000 for 3 months. So, as the pools accumulate and combine, such a contract is launched, and then it goes on to operate. And in this pool, you could have $25 or $1,000 or even $100,000, any amount at all. A forecast for token mining is generated based on the data from the past 2 weeks. In other words, real data is pulled in, how much was mined on our devices, what the production cost was, and a forecast is created. So the daily mining cost, it definitely fluctuates. Sometimes there are more miners, sometimes fewer. Sometimes the difficulty is higher or lower. But you will always see the average forecast for the previous 2 weeks in your personal account. Then tokens are credited to you daily and they unlock according to a 180-day vesting schedule. So this is a vesting period programmed by the protocol. That's the tokenomics race in Viper. That's the algorithm miners receive. A token that unlocks over 180 days. So if you mined 180 tokens today, one token will be unlocked each day over 180 days. And they will be available to you. Every day, one token will be unlocked, and over 180 days, you'll receive all your 180 tokens. It's a simple and clear mechanism. Why does the GONKA token have the potential for hundreds of thousands of times in returns? First of all, it has a limited, capped supply. Second, as demand for infrastructure and computing power grows, especially since GONKA's inference is 100 times cheaper than any existing alternatives, when demand keeps rising and supply is limited, the price goes up. Right now, the strategic goal of Gonska, the protocol, and the entire community is to increase the number of requests. And as the number of requests grows, the value will increase as well. And since Gonka is the payment unit for real computations, the more requests there are from independent models and developers, the greater the consumption of the Gonka token and the greater its potential. The bigger the network itself, the more attention the project gets, the more clients and users, and the more the GenK token price grows. And today, we find ourselves at a point where the network has already been forming for almost a year. People know about Gawker, they're starting to use it, and development is already underway. These services are already key players such as the Bit Foundation. Fury has invested in Gonka, allocating about $50 million for investment. There's news about this. They allocated up to $12 million for the token and up to $38 million for the development of special equipment that'll be suitable for artificial intelligence. And of course, for Gonka mining, and it will outperform NVIDIA equipment. So we'll see all of this year. This year, we'll see the Gonka Foundation in the fall. It's quite likely that we'll see the token listed, Gonka, on top exchanges, which will definitely increase its potential and interest. We'll see a very large marketing strategy that Gonka is currently implementing, and its full potential, its full unveiling, will happen this year. So this year, we'll see a lot of different changes and news in Gonka. And it's important for us right now, specifically this year, to accumulate GONKA tokens before all these changes happen, and specifically through mine. Because if we just go to the market and buy GONKA tokens, we'll have almost no impact on the network. If we get into mining, we strategically understand that we'll be receiving the token for the next 6 months, up to 180 days, and that through our participation, new GPUs will be brought online. This is the strategic goal set by the Lieberman brothers to connect around 1 million or more GPUs. If that happens, GONKA will become a significant player, and the only way to connect 1 million GPUs is through mining. So the first thing we do is support GONKA itself through mining, and the second is accumulate the GONKA token to see how its potential unfolds in the future. How do you get started? Register on the platform, choose your participation format, and receive a Gen key. We have a service fee for the mining tariff, which covers server operation and maintenance, including setup, support, and infrastructure node management for a whole year. In other words, once you pay the service fee, which ranges from $25 to $25,000, you can choose any format that suits you. A limit is set for you, which is the maximum you can load into the equipment. For mining deposits up to $500, there is no service fee. For amounts over $500, the service fee is $25, which is about 2.5%. These funds go to pay our DevOps team, the team that maintains and supports the mining nodes 24/7. If you plan to send a larger amount to mining, say $50,000 or $15,000 to $100,000, then your service fee will be higher, 1,000 USDT or $2,500, $5,000, or even $10,000 USDT. And then you are eligible for another type of bonus called a participation unit or an influence unit. This is our internal accounting unit on the Formula X platform, and there is a limited supply of 10 million participation units. This unit represents your influence. It's our internal score that reflects how much you have contributed to the XAI formula infrastructure. In the future, participants will receive bonuses and rewards depending on how many of these influence units they have accumulated. Also, the paid service fee gives you a monthly drop of the GNK token, 1% of all tokens mined during the entire reporting period. We credit the race tokens monthly, and our users receive them between the 1st and 5th of each month. For example, right now, July 1st just passed and June ended. For June, we mined about 600 or 700,000 race tokens, approximately. Accordingly, 1%, that's 6 to 7,000 raise tokens, will be credited in the next day or two to those who purchased and paid the service fee. And also, the service fee gives you the opportunity to earn income if you are an influencer, an entrepreneur, or if you are expanding your influence on the infrastructure through personal recommendations. In that case, you get a partnership program and you have the opportunity to earn income in tokens from the earnings of those you brought into mining. We talk about this in more detail at our partnership meetings and business breakfasts. Our next business breakfast will be held on Friday, as well as every Tuesday and Friday at 11 o'clock Moscow time, 12 o'clock Dubai, and 13 o'clock Kazakhstan. We meet to discuss the nuances and details of the partnership program, share various news, talk in person, and learn about our development strategy. If you are registering on our Formula X platform for the first time, you will receive a $25 mining bonus when you pay a service fee of 250 USDT or more. If you pay 250 within a month, you get $25 for mining, a 1 month contract, and it's a nice bonus and a pleasant discount for you. Today, we are introducing the Compute Access Pool, or CAP for short. This is a long-term program for accessing the computing infrastructure of the GONKA network. Usually, mining pools offer you a 1 month contract. You join, mine for a month, and that's it. But our goal is to build a permanent infrastructure and increase the number of GPUs from 2 to 3,000 to 1 million. That's why we're focused on strategic planning, and it's important, interesting, and beneficial for us if our client, who comes to accumulate tokens, stays with us for 6 months and mines during that period. That's exactly why the Compute Access Pool program was created. This is a program where, for 6 consecutive months, you invest an amount that's comfortable for you into mining. And in doing so, you make a significant impact on the race network and accumulate tokens for yourself. A way to participate in mining programs, the standard cycle is 30 days. This is suitable for those who just want to try it out, test things, see what the rate is, get a feel for the race, study the materials, or simply get acquainted with the Formula 11 platform. A 90-day optimized contract. These are more efficient GPU contracts, longer term, and you get about 5 to 8% more GNK tokens on such contracts because they are long term. So basically, you could put $1,000 into mining for a month and get X tokens, or you could put that same $1,000 in, but for 90 days. You'll be mining for 90 days and you'll get an extra 5 to 8% compared to a monthly contract. You could also take that 1,000, split it up into, say, $250 portions, and send it in 6 monthly payments. That way, you'll have a total of $1,500 invested in mining over 180 days. Each month, you put in $250, and this way you accumulate for yourself and develop your infrastructure long term. Here, the mining is even more profitable. So what happens here is that with every payment you make, you receive a GNK allocation. That is a race allocation. Basically, with each payment, for example, if you pay $1,000, you immediately get an allocation of the race token, which we've already pre-mined as a mining pool, and those tokens are instantly credited to your wallet. In other words, this is the advantage of this 180-day contract. And of course, the cost of mining is higher with it. So with these 180-day contracts, you get significantly more race tokens. They offer users the most favorable mining conditions, and for us as a platform and for miners, they provide a clear planning horizon for the next 6 months. How does it work? You choose a monthly payment, any amount that's comfortable for you, from $25 to $25,000, meaning you can set up any payment that suits you. On a certain date, let's say you pay today, then on the first of the next month, you pay the next amount. You top up your balance in advance, and the payment will be deducted automatically. Or you can use the partner program to earn referral bonuses, and those bonuses can be accumulated and then used to pay for mining. So you can pay in any way that's convenient for you. Right after you make the payment, you receive a GINKA allocation. That is an allocation in the GONKA token, which we've already mined in advance as a mining pool. Your mining for the month is then activated, meaning that over the course of the month, you'll mine a certain amount of tokens as well. Thanks to the launch of this product, and in order for as many clients as possible to get to know it, use it, and learn how to work with it, we launched the GONKA Network Acceleration Program. That is 8 weeks of accelerated network development and scaling of the Formula 11 infrastructure. We're currently in the second week. The first week is over, Monday. Yes, now we're in the second week. There's still this week and 6 more weeks ahead, so basically 7 weeks left, during which you'll have the opportunity to participate in this program. Over these 8 weeks, 8 short sprints, a weekly ranking is formed. The top 5 participants are determined, and they're rewarded with allocations of race tokens. This happens every Monday. Last week, we already had 5 winners. We rewarded them. First place gets 750 race tokens, second place gets 500, then 350, 200, and so on. So the first 5 winners received a significant reward. At the end of the 8 weeks, we will organize a trip to Vietnam. And among the participants of this program over these 8 weeks, among you, among our partners, we will sum up the results. Some people will get a fully paid trip to Vietnam, flight plus hotel package, while others will get just the hotel package. Some will get a 50% discount on the hotel package. So, depending on your influence and participation, the trip to Vietnam will be arranged. And also, in addition, each participant in this program receives participation units for personal sales and for helping your partners with their personal mining sales. So the conditions are very simple. Take part yourself, help your loved ones get started with mining, and teach them to help their loved ones get into mining too. It's a very simple process. Here's how it works. Sign up yourself, activate a 6-month subscription, and then direct participation means your personal mining referrals. For every 1000 USDT, you receive a bonus of 1000 participation units. And expand your influence by helping your partners make personal referrals as well. And you also receive participation units as a bonus for that. Your participation units accumulate, forming a savings pool, and you take part in the weekly ranking. So it's all simple. That's the essence of the program. Take part yourself, connect mining power, earn participation units, and compete in the rankings, and earn rewards. And so, to draw an analogy, we are roughly here with you, meaning when there is still no Bitcoin market, no established consumers, no sellers, no thousands of computers involved in mining. In other words, everything's just emerging, everything is just beginning. The race is in about the same place. Ahead, yes, there's a long road to travel. We need to greatly expand the number of GPUs. We need to massively sell inference, meaning requests from artificial intelligence. We need to create this market. You need to participate in this market. We need to prove our effectiveness. We need to fine tune this entire algorithm. While all this is happening, of course, yes, this market is turbulent, but as soon as everything falls into place, we'll be shooting for the stars. That's why right now it's strategically important to have, accumulate, hold, preserve the token, and do everything possible to help the ecosystem develop. Now, let's take a closer look at how the compute access pool works starting from the second week. So, this is a long term commitment. I want you to understand that this is a 6-month participation contract. For example, let's say today you decide to join in. You decide that for 6 months in a row, you'll be sending $1,000 each month into mining. What will you get? We couldn't have made this offer a month ago, or two, or three. But after going through 4 months, Formula 11 over these 4 months, first of all, became the largest mining pool among all that exist. Secondly, for a week, we held 30% of the entire GONKA network's power. That's our achievement. Just imagine 1/3 of the network, 1/3 of the power. That's our accomplishment. That's our contribution to the development of the GONKA ecosystem. In other words, as a mining pool, we contributed 30% of the total power. Of course, for such leaps and achievements as a pool, we've accumulated and earned a pretty decent amount of GONKA tokens for ourselves. And we're proud that we haven't sold, aren't selling, and have never once sold the GONKA token on the market to lower the price or influence the rate in any way. So we're only accumulating, and now we've accumulated a very decent amount of tokens. And we're ready to share these already mined tokens with our partners and clients who participate in mining, who help connect new devices, new GPUs, new nodes, and we're ready to share very generously. So, what are we offering? You send $1,000 into mining over the course of 6 months, each time a certain amount of $1,000. Every time you make a $1,000 payment, you immediately, right then and there, instantly receive 1,000 JNK tokens, which we have already mined earlier and which we have on our balance as a mining pool. They appear in your personal account right away. And if you or someone else were mining the race on your own, those 1,000 tokens would go through a 180-day vesting period. But since we already have these tokens, we activate turbo vesting for them. So not 180 days, but twice as fast. That means 90 days. So you'll receive those 1,000 tokens not in 180 days, but in 90. That means you get a little bit every day. So the accelerated vesting is twice as fast, twice as high, because we've already accumulated and have our own tokens. And besides, in addition to those 1,000 tokens, a mining contract for the same $1,000 will be activated for you, which will run for 30 days. And in those 30 days, at the current cost, you will mine about 1,950. This calculation is based on the cost over the last 2 or 3 weeks. This amount may decrease or increase, so it's not stable, but this is a very rough estimate. So in total, you'll get 2,950 JNK. Almost 3,000. This number is very close to the one you see on the market, before mining, of course. Sometimes it matches the market price, sometimes it's a bit higher, sometimes a bit lower, but these calculations are based on the last 2 weeks. So, yes, at this point, many people ask, what's better for me if I want the GONKA token? I like everything the Lieberman brothers talk about. I absolutely love this protocol. I want artificial intelligence to work for me. I want to have the GONKA token. What should I do? Should I go to OTS and buy it there? One that someone has already mined, that someone already owns, that someone is selling? Or should I get into mining? There's no definite answer here, but it's clear that when you buy a token from the market, you're helping some miner who mined that token a long time ago for 5 cents or 10 cents or even 2 cents. You're helping them lock in their 2 times, 3 times, or 5 times gains. That's it. So you helped them out, right? You bought the token from them. But when you go into mining, first of all, you get about the same number of tokens, give or take, maybe 5 to 10% more or less. That's really not a big deal. But through you, mining was activated, equipment was turned on, you influenced the network, contributed to the development of the race protocol, and got the opportunity to participate in the partner program, the chance to earn income from income, to receive various airdrops, and to get race allocations. In short, a ton of opportunities from our platform, a bunch of services that we're creating as the Formula XI platform. As of today, the number of our clients has exceeded 2,000. This means that every client who withdraws tokens to their own wallet creates a new wallet. So our impact is more than 2,000 wallets in the Race network. That's a significant impact. More than 15% of all wallets in the Race network are thanks to us. It's our achievement that GPUs are running. It's our achievement that we have the largest mining pool. It's our achievement that we work with corporate clients. And we're currently preparing and developing many services, including services for loading inference in the race network. Here's one of those services. When you register on the Formula 11 website, you'll see a prompt like this to connect Telegram if you're already our client. If you're not our client yet, when you go to the settings on the website, you'll also be offered the option to connect Telegram. Be sure to connect Telegram. First, a Telegram bot will be created for you, then a mini app will be added to this bot, and after that, a service will be added as well, which will give you the ability to use the race artificial intelligence and solve any of your tasks based on this AI. So make sure to reach out to the person who invited you to this meeting. Be sure to register on Telegram if you haven't already. Join our Telegram channel. From the Telegram channel, you'll get access to our Telegram chat. Feel free to ask your questions there. Make sure to connect the Telegram bot. Don't rush to share this Telegram bot just yet. It's important that when you connect, the entire network gets synchronized. All users on the website and users in Telegram are synced together. And then, when and how you should use this Telegram bot, share it, and spread information will be explained. It was created as a traffic magnet. In other words, with this Telegram bot, we'll be able to bring in over 100,000 new clients. We've already perfected this process. Our team knows exactly how to do this. We'll get over 100,000 clients. Each of you will get new clients, partners, and users. These users will be able to use mining, earn the GONKA token through various activities, and also use artificial intelligence. So all of this is ahead of us. So make sure to take advantage of this opportunity and be sure to participate right now in the promo campaign that's happening for you with long-term participation contracts. So thank everyone who invited you to this event. And when you watch the recording, make sure to thank the person who sent it to you. Be sure to watch it again carefully. Get to know the long-term 6-month programs for accumulating the GONKA token, and be sure to participate in mining. Accumulate GONKA, grow your influence, and together we'll make artificial intelligence, this field, this industry, work for us. Let's see how much the GONKA token will grow. Just recently, I rewatched the interview with Alexander Sokolovsky and the Lieberman brothers. And Alexander Sokolovsky asked the Lieberman brothers why they didn't go work for corporations like Google, Microsoft, Apple, or GPT. The brothers replied that if they had gone there, sure, they could have earned 1, 2, 3, 10, 50, or even $100 million. But by launching the GONKA protocol and keeping 10% of the token for themselves, they have the opportunity to gain capital in the hundreds of billions of dollars. Hundreds, not 100, but hundreds. That is 200 to 300 billion dollars. And understanding that they have set such an ambitious goal for themselves to have hundreds of billions of dollars, brothers, when everything works out, when what's planned for GONKA comes to fruition, for us, this is an opportunity to make thousands of times returns from the current price in the future over some period, 3, 5, or 10 years. I don't know how long it will take, but such an opportunity exists. The entire artificial intelligence sector will use GONKA, and GONKA as a protocol will dominate the decentralized AI sphere, taking a significant share of this market, 5 to 10%. And the capitalization of the GONKA token will multiply, thanks to the fact that hundreds of entrepreneurs around the world are using GONKA. That's why we're accumulating GONKA, mining GONKA together. Together, we are strong. Let's meet tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Once again, make sure you understand how computation with the pool works. $1,000 into mining, $1,000 worth of GONKA right away, allocation, turbo vesting twice as fast, plus mining. This way, you don't need OTC. You're getting GONKA at almost the same price, close to this price. And importantly, it's always cheaper than what Bitfury strategic investor pays. That is, he bought the GONKA token at 60 cents. We're mining at a lower cost, so it's more profitable, and we're at a great entry point. We don't know how long this will last, but right now is the best, most ideal time to accumulate the GONKA token. That's all for me. Thanks for coming today. All the best. Bye-bye.